A major theory is spreading around which has a lot of possibility of it being true. When you watch the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, the story events with Lucia or Jason seem slightly off. It starts with Lucia in prison, but then other scenes seem like they are getting chased by the cops and even kicking open the door to the liquor shop. Based on the analysis provided, it appears that the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer may suggest a reverse storytelling structure, starting with Lucia in prison and then revealing the events that led to her incarceration.
Do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
This could serve as a prologue to provide background information on the characters and introduce the premise of the story. The trailer also hints at Lucia abandoning her baby and Jason being an undercover cop, which were previously leaked storyline spoilers. The inclusion of body cam footage in the trailer further supports these spoilers. Ultimately, it seems that the trailer aims to showcase the unfolding of events in a non-linear fashion to engage players in discovering each part of the game's map. It's a bit of a mess in terms of events until you reverse the trailer and look at the events that way, where the story starts with Lucia on top of Jason in the motel room saying trust.
Trust?
Trust.
They would then show up at Uncle Jack's liquor, kick open the door, and start walking inside. There is then the scene of them driving their car fast in Port Gellhorn. We can see by this sign they passed, and then they drive right past the cops. In this scene, they are in Leonard County, the Rockstar version of Broward County, going by the livery on the police cars. You can see in the distance the Vice City skyline signaling that's where they are driving to. We then see a scene of Lucia as part of a rooftop party in Vice City, which very well could be a first-person view from the eyes of Jason. Then Lucia and Jason drive around Vice City later that night in celebration. But Lucia eventually gets caught, which is where the prison scene starts, the beginning of Grand Theft Auto 6. The reason why Lucia goes to jail and Jason doesn't isn't known, but could very well play into him being an undercover. Maybe the entire thing was set up by Jason and the police, which is why he looks worried in this driving scene, because he has caught feelings for her and knows she's about to be arrested. When Lucia explains how she got to prison by bad luck, that will start a flashback to what led her to that point as the first starting mission. Something like in Grand Theft Auto 5, where the prologue gave you the introduction to Trevor and Michael and their past relationship in North Yankton, which was a huge focus in the storyline. Expect the same thing, where the prologue will be a scene setter so everyone understands the premise of the story and gets a rough idea of the characters. This is why the trailer starts in prison, but then all the other events don't make sense in the order shown unless you put them in reverse. So you learn about the events that led Lucia to that point, which is the start. If you look at the storyline linearly, and the start of the game is the Lucia prison scene, it's not that the trailer shows events throughout the story. It shows everything before the prison scene. We know she will be starting in prison because when you check this scene of them kicking down the door, she has no ankle monitor on, which when you look at the official promo art, Lucia has an ankle monitor. These scenes are before it gets put on and will be after she leaves jail, which confirms the trailer in reverse theory. This will make it so you can't just speed run and check out every corner of the map without progressing through the story, allowing you to discover each part of the map, until either she gets it taken off of her or she takes it off herself, opening up the entire state to explore. You might remember in the past campaign where you couldn't just swap to any character you wanted whenever you wanted at the start of the story. Only until you progress through and make it to Wade's cousin's house in Los Santos, where afterwards you can freely choose between each character. Expect a similar system where you will be restricted to many things as Lucia with her ankle monitor. So this trailer scene where Lucia is in jail will be the start of the game, similar to how in the Grand Theft Auto 5 trailer, You gotta see Michael talking to his therapist, Dr. Friedlander, which was the first cutscene after the prologue right before the car mission with Franklin. What people call the first official mission of the game. This will be instead a prologue explaining how Lucia ended up in jail talking to Stephanie. She eventually gets picked up by Jason to start the game outside of the prologue. There was also a theory that Jason helped break Lucia out of jail as one of the first missions. But when you look at Lucia's ankle monitor, that would only be used for probation sentences or house arrests. If we would break Lucia out of jail, she wouldn't have an ankle monitor. We already knew about this happening and covered it weeks before the trailer came out in our storyline spoiler video. So this trailer should confirm those spoilers, including Lucia abandoning her baby early on at a DLI and Jason being an undercover cop. We also look at the body cam footage in the trailer, which many are also theorizing could be Jason going by the skin tone shown, which would also confirm these spoilers. There is a reason why Jason was so secretive in the trailer, and the only word he said was trust. If you missed the original storyline spoilers from a few weeks ago, here it is. These are spoilers for the Grand Theft Auto 6 campaign. Subscribe and come back once this is all confirmed. Lucia has a baby that she abandons at a delicatessen before heading out to a bank robbery and then getting arrested for doing such an act. It is not known if the baby was a boy or a girl, and obviously, there will be no kids in the game. This only happens in a cutscene as a flashback of the past. I have no information about what happens to this baby after this point. After a few years, Lucia gets released on probation. She's picked up at the prison by Jason, who's planning a robbery with her, and they'll fall in love with each other after some time. The majority of the planning for the missions takes place at a nightclub called Vault. In the very first mission of the game, you control Jason, and you have to follow a plane that is about to land and carries a Russian drug dealer. Apparently, Jason meets this guy and starts to plan a mission to steal drugs. In this drug-stealing mission, they are chased by the police, and the drug ends up falling into the ocean. There is a following mission where they will have to dive to retrieve it. Mechanics there is a new mechanic for detecting threats and valuable items around you. This is not a special ability like Franklin's ability to drive cars with a special handing. This is a new mechanic that seems to be somewhat inspired by the dead-eye targeting from Drew. This mechanic is revealed in the Hunks Waffles dining robbery, present in the leaked videos. Rockstar has also been focusing on very detailed mechanics of searching places. This one seems to be also inspired by a mechanic from RDR 2. That's all I can reveal for now.